I call this Hawaii Board of Geographic Names meeting to order on this day, June 12th. And we will begin with a roll call, and I'll begin. Marcus Morzan, representing Bishop Museum.
Kauaʻi Oliver, University of Hawaii.
Makaila, Department of Hawaiian Homelands.
Arthur Buto for the Office of Planning Sustainable Development.
All right. Thank you all for your attendance. We can begin with the review and approval of the meeting minutes of April 24th. And as always, thank you, Arthur, for your diligence in getting us the information and meeting notes.
I will move to approve.
All right.
And note that I wasn't actually in attendance, but I move to approve.
All right.
Seconded.
Yeah, it was moved by Kapa, second by Lily. Is there any comment or edits at this time? Hearing none. Any opposed? Motion carried. Mahalo. Okay. Next on the agenda, public comment. Do we have any public comment at this time?
I didn't receive anything. No.
All right. And announcements. Any announcements?
I did send, I forwarded an email from ethics. A few of you needed to do the annual finance, or it's not annual, but the financial disclosure. So just a reminder about that. And I just wanted to let you know that for my program, the GIS program, I'll be hiring somebody soon, hopefully in the next month or so. It's been 3 years. I've had a vacancy for 3 years. So that should help. If they don't help directly with the HBGN meetings, it will at least take some load off my workload, and I'll be able to pay more attention to these meetings. So it will be, I can't promise, but I'll make every effort to make it a little smoother, get the agendas put together sooner, get the meeting packets together sooner for you folks to review ahead of time. But I'll either have a full-time staff person and or an intern and maybe two. So it's going to help a lot. Otherwise, I don't have anything else.
Perfect. Yeah. I'm happy for you that you're finally able to fill that position that you've been that's been vacant for that long. But yeah,
the state system is incredible.
Well, I'm happy for you. All right.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Okay. So next on the agenda, select feature names for the ahupuaʻa of Waimea on the island of Kauaʻi.
Okay, so at the last meeting, there were a couple things. One is that I suggested that we go back to what we were doing. Bobby had suggested, rather than tackling an entire island and going through all the names for an island before we move on, that we do it in a little more digestible chunks. So he suggested, I think, ahupuaʻa. We started that. We got sidetracked with some important name considerations, and so we're kind of returning to that. And two that I picked, one was on Hawaii and one was on
Molokai. Yes.
So that's what you have in front of you. Now, again, I apologize for not getting the lists to you sooner, so you may not have had time to do any kind of research. But these are, just to refresh your memory, these were names that previous boards probably went through at one time and looked at place names, looked at the normal resources, and they were not able to come to a decision. So it ended up with a status of 3. So what we're doing now is we're kind of going through those names, and if there are any other resources that we have, that we'll try and make that determination. If we've gone through all our resources, then we have a new category that we created, category 7, which is done all the research we can. We've looked at all the resources that we have, all the references that we have, and we can't make a decision on this name, so we're going to designate it as a 7 and not review it again unless some new evidence comes to light, some new documentation comes to light, in which case we'll go back and revisit it. So that's what these are.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I noticed that a number of them include, like a feature kind of name, like valley, gulch, stream, on a number of them on the list. And I recall in previous decisions, did we make a decision to like remove some of those terms in previous?
So this is actually a database field, the feature class. That is the type of feature.
Yeah.
So the title of the column is kind of cut off, but it's the feature class, which is the type of feature it is.
Yes.
It's not necessarily part of the name, but in the feature, if you're talking about the feature names, including
the feature name,
valley and spring, yeah, some of them do, and so this is our opportunity, since we're reviewing them now,
yeah,
to include them or not.
Yeah. And can you refresh our memory? In previous decisions, did we remove those kind of markers like valley, stream from names?
I believe we did, unless there was some ambiguity, or unless it was unclear. Like if there were two features in that area with the same name, but one was a valley and one was a stream, I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody remembers better, we decided to include that descriptor.
Yeah,
or
I recall that as well.
Hawaiian, maybe replace it with a Hawaiian descriptor instead.
Yeah, I recall that as well.
I wanted to make another comment, not one that pertains to these specific names, but recently I visited Kamehameha, and then I subsequently saw a video made about Molokaʻi, and the kupuna was Kauaʻi, and I believe he is a manaleo. So I would like to suggest that while we have this resource on that island, that we might want to focus on the island and see if he can be a resource for us to kind of fast track some of the areas that he is well acquainted with, while we have someone still with us who I would say is a expert in the field because of being a first language speaker of Hawaiian and also growing up on that aina. Since, we have so many to choose from, we might want to use that resource to the fullest potential before it no longer exists.
Kapa, is that Anakala Earl Kawa'a that you're
Hi.
mentioning?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
I would agree. Yeah.
I know some people, I don't know what everybody calls him, but I've heard just Kauaʻi being used. So
Yeah.
I don't know if he likes to be Anakala. I don't know him well. I don't know him well, but because he came up twice and now we're talking about this, I think we should really make sure we tap into that available resource.
No, I agree. Yeah, he's always been a great wealth of knowledge whenever I've chatted with him and hearing all of his mo'olelo that he shared about growing up on Molokaʻi and everything. So yeah, I agree that we would, I think, greatly benefit for his input, especially on those Molokaʻi related names. Okay. But regarding
just to quickly follow up on that. So Marcus, can you, or Kapa'a, can you reach out to him? If he's comfortable with technology.
Oh, yeah, I can connect with him and invite him to participate in maybe the next meeting and share with him the list of
if
names.
he's not comfortable with technology, then maybe we can look at our budgets to see if there's travel money or some way that we can hold a meeting where he is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He does spend a lot of time on Oahu. I'm not sure if
Oh.
he's based on Molokai or on Oahu, but he does spend a lot of time on Oahu. So I can check.
And in which case we might be able to schedule just a special meeting.
Mhm.
Talk
Yeah.
to him.
All right.
Hello, Marcus.
Okay, great.
Like many people, I just know of him. I don't actually, I'm not Kauaʻi.
Yeah. No, not a problem. Yeah, but I fully support that. I'm connecting with him.
And if there are others that I'm unaware of, that we know of, that we could begin that conversation with like right away,
Yeah.
I would support.
Yeah. I have a colleague who's based on Molokai. She's an archaeologist at the Bishop Museum. And her name is Pulama Lima. And so she maybe could suggest any particular kupuna that are on Molokai that might have this kind of ike that we could definitely gain more insights on for these particular names. Okay.
I can
Yeah.
try to reach out to some of our beneficiary networks too.
Okay.
No, I think La'a Poi Poi was the burial council rep for Kaluako'i for some time. Though I think their burial council right now is having some challenges.
All right.
Yeah, I just wonder if we might want to take a different, proactive approach where we just find the people wherever they are throughout Hawaiʻi, Pai'aina, right? And just target those first and then fill in the gaps after. I mean, I think what we're doing now makes a lot of sense as well, but just starting with the kupuna who are, few and far between might be another good approach.
Yeah.
That's a great approach. I think maybe if we can reach out and even send folks the list and see if they can circulate it amongst their folks who are knowledgeable that may want to weigh in and provide comment and give us some guidance and direction.
Yeah. That sounds great. I'm just looking at the list that you have, Arthur, sent to us, particularly like starting off with the Kauaʻi ones, the Kauaʻi names. Do we like the first one on the list? What is it? Ka'anamahuna Valley, the feature name. Could we look to see if that name comes up in multiple forms on the GNIS to see if, like you mentioned, if we've made decisions in the past that if there were multiple features that had the same name, we would kind of address it that accordingly. But like I'm wondering if this particular the valley has any other features within it that carries that name. And if not, we could just like remove the term valley from the feature name itself to be in alignment with what we've done in the past.
Okay, let me see if I can share my screen. This might be kind of difficult, but let me see what I can do. Okay, I'm afraid if I close this window with the video on it, it's going to close the meeting. But
Oh,
if that's the case, hopefully it'll prompt me. That happens. Okay, is everybody still there?
we're all still here.
Okay. This is so big. Now, it appears to be the only feature with that
With
name.
that name. Well, if that's the case, I would be comfortable with our being in alignment with our previous decision kind of protocol and removing the name Valley from the feature name. Do others agree?
Yeah, I'd be willing to make a motion to remove all of the English
Terms.
descriptors
Yeah.
in the feature name in this list for Kauaʻi.
Second.
Yeah. All right. It was moved and seconded by moved by Kapa, second by Lily.
There is Waiaka Ridge and Waiaka Valley.
So I'm okay with that as long as we have it in the sorry, I'll go back to the other screen. In the feature list. I think that suffices.
Yeah, in the feature class, you mean? Where
Yes.
one is a valley and one is a ridge.
Yes.
From a GNIS standpoint, does that make a difference, Arthur? Like a valley, because say if it was a stream or something that was running through the valley versus on top of the ridge line itself, the names would be kind of close together if they were like in the middle, yeah, in the stream versus in the valley itself versus on top of the mountain ridge line. Um, do you think confusion would occur in that regard? Again, because it's just bringing up from previous iterations when we talked about multiple features having the same name, how we addressed that in the past.
Well, potentially. I mean, if you're there and you say, well, maybe not. I'm on Waiaka. That would kind of imply that you're on the ridge.
Yes. Versus yeah.
Because again, that's sort of the point of these databases is to one aspect of it is to resolve any ambiguity so that
Yeah.
for emergency management, for example, if you had a call from somebody and they said I'm in Waiaka and that's all that appears on the map, there might be that ambiguity.
Mm-hmm.
I think in that case, though, if it was an emergency situation, if you're able to say you're at Waiaka, you'd probably also be able to say you're at the ridge or the valley or the stream or what have you. Thinking of other cases where it would be more ambiguous. I guess also from a more of a purist kind of perspective. I mean, here we are looking at the Kahako and Okina, but then we're introducing a name that wasn't the name initially. So I feel like the feature class column provides that specificity that may be necessary in some cases. And then, now we also have GPS and tracking and like pinpointing people's actual location with their technology that they have on them.
I think my preference is to remove the feature class from the feature name wherever can and to remove the English. I would feel comfortable doing that, but I wouldn't feel comfortable making any other changes to the names until we can get some additional input. I'm also able to circulate this list to our beneficiaries in Waimea, and so I'd be happy to do that.
That would be great. I do see, even though I'm not familiar with all of these places myself, Eleneki Elenekiki Stream, and then we have Eleneki. Oh wait, am I making that up? Elekeni Iki. Shouldn't have a Okina before Iki. And I feel confident with that because there's the Nui and the Iki, but the Iki doesn't have an Okina. Sorry, I made up that it was Eleneki.
Elekeniki and Elekeni Nui. So in those instances, both names need edits, right? In the feature name, they're misspelled. Yeah. Elekeniiki and it says Elekeniiki and Elekeniui as the two names. So in those particular instances, I think we need to fix the actual spelling. But since we have a motion on the floor right now for removal of all of the terms, the English feature terms from the feature names, and it was seconded. Is there any other comment regarding that at this time? Okay, hearing none. Any opposed? Okay, that motion carried for those instances. And so now there's the conversation of those two feature names, feature ID 358797 and 358798. And I think Kapa, you had mentioned the spelling should remove the Okina after before Iki in that stream name, right? Okay. Can we do both corrections at the same time, Arthur, or should we do one at a time for those two feature names?
No, you can do both.
Okay. Okay. So I'm assuming we're gonna edit Elekeniiki stream to remove the Okina before Iki, and then Elekeniui to include N at as the third to the last letter. So Elekeni Nui instead of Ui.
I'll make a motion to that nature.
All right. Motion. Second. Anyone? Okay. Arthur, Lily, John Poe, you want to? Anyone want a second?
I'll second.
All right. Moved and seconded. Any opposed? All right. Now, motion carried as well.
I'm also making another observation that the USGS quad name column, and I'm not sure if it's just actually, and the other columns. I would imagine if ahupuaʻa and moku, all of that were filled in with other names, we might notice that there are no kahako and okina, and yet a lot of these we've already probably examined and
Yeah, there won't be in the map name and the quad name.
okay. Okay.
But the ahupuaʻa and the moku, those are from a data set that the state manages. So if we're missing any diacriticals there, please let me know. That we can change without.
Okay, so I will make a motion then to name the ahupuaʻa column with an okina between the last two A's.
Oh,
Okay. Is there a
that,
second?
that doesn't
Oh,
require, I'm
oh.
sorry, that doesn't require it. That's just an internal fixing the spreadsheet, fixing the data.
Oh, just a field name for the database. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is there any other name at the moment that's jumping out at anyone that you want to have a discussion on at this time?
I don't have enough information to know one way or another, but I would imagine towards the end that it might be Pe'ekauaʻi ditch. So we have ditch though, and then we have canal. So if we're gonna be removing the feature name, I think I don't know determines whether it's a ditch or canal. But we're removing ditch and we have canal in the feature. So I just wanna
Yeah.
draw our attention to that.
Arthur, is there any concern for that, that particular instance, ditch and in the feature name and well, previously was in the feature name and the feature class is canal? Are they
No,
synonymous to one another in
Same for Nihoa Gulch and Valley
yeah.
and other gulches and valleys on this list.
Okay. So Kapa, did you want to add the Okina in Pe'ekau?
No, because I don't I'm just saying that I don't
just
have enough information, but it's
about
just
that
an
particular.
observation.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
just looking at it just off the
Okay. No, I have no
Okay.
other comments, but I just didn't want to lose sight of the fact that we have ditches and canals and
Yeah.
gulches and valleys. I mean, to me, I don't know. It might be okay. I mean, I think they're very similar, right?
yeah, I think in fact the feature class.
Definitions, yeah,
Yeah,
address that, right? Yeah.
I was just trying to see if I could see somewhere in here are the descriptions of what each of these feature classes is.
Yeah, there.
So this was a
Ditch, yeah, there. Oh wait, ditch, lateral, sluice, yeah.
ditch and a canal. So they're synonymous.
Yeah. Okay. I think good there. All right. Do we feel like we want to continue beyond at this time, or we're gonna hold off until next time, and so we can do a little bit more research on our own for the remaining names? Okay. All
And
right.
since I got these lists to you so late, I think giving you more time to look at them
Yeah.
is a good idea.
Okay. Yeah. So regarding our decisions today, the removal of those English terms from the feature names. Do you require anything else from us to proceed with those name changes, Arthur? Because
I
they're simple. I'm assuming just the removal of those English phrases. I don't think we had to do full name change um, documentation previously, correct?
I'll consult with Shelley.
Okay.
Shelley, I don't know if you want to make a comment now. If you do, I can unmute you. Let's see. Let me go ahead and unmute Shelley.
All right.
Hi, Shelley. Can you hear us? Can you talk?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
So from the decision that we made today was to remove English terms from the feature name. So like valley, stream,
Mhm.
ridge. Does that require a full name change, document application to do that?
Uh, that I'll have to consult on with GNIS, the GNIS data manager, and I can get back to Arthur on that one.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So hopefully
Thanks.
that doesn't require a lot of additional work on your end, Arthur, to produce all of that. That kind
I will try to spread the wealth.
Yes, spread the wealth. All right.
Yeah, and Shelley helped a lot on the forms for Hawaii and Maliola.
Yes.
So I'll use that as sort of a template, if we need to go that route. But there will probably be some assistance with the wording that I need to consult with you guys, especially since it's sort of at least for these two lists, sort of a blanket.
Yeah.
That might be something that is just copy and paste for each of these names, or maybe we could submit it as sort of a blanket with a list of names.
All right. That sounds great. All right. So since we've concluded, the discussions on the feature names, we can move on to the next part of the agenda. Discuss place names of interest. Does anyone have any areas within the Pai'aina that we want to maybe consider looking at as well to help Arthur kind of narrow down some of those areas as he did with these particular feature names for today's meeting.
So this was a suggestion by Ailama, just sort of float names, and not just from board members, but anyone attending the meeting. Just to float names that the board should consider at a future meeting, so that we could add that to a future agenda. So it's not something we're going to discuss today, but it's names of particular interest or significance, or interest really by a board member or member of the public that they would like us to discuss.
Bar or Lily, do you have any thoughts at this time?
I mean, for our next meeting or an upcoming meeting in the near future, I'd like to again have us consider focusing on Molokai and whatever Ike Anakala or Kauaʻi might have. I think that might help us to fast track a lot of names on that particular island. And then, like Lily and others have said, if there are other kupuna, other knowledgeable folks, I'd also like to focus on those in addition to whatever special interest names folks have. I'm not sure if on Maui towards Ke'anai, Honolulu is one that has already been determined, but I feel pretty confident about Honolulu, and I think that that particular name could easily be misunderstood to be Honomanu, but having heard multiple kupuna from that area saying it, I'd like to be sure that, at least during my time here on the board, that one be one that we review and discuss.
Mahalo kapa for that suggestion. So Honolulu Keanai Maui is a potential addition to that name list to be addressed.
I'm just gonna check to see what it looks like right now, and well, actually, I can, sorry.
Interestingly, on Oahu, there are two street names that run parallel to each other. Inaya, and one is Ke'anai, and the other one is just marked like Honolulu. So, and I drive past it all the time. And because it's right next to Ke'anai, technically Honolulu is not in Ke'anai, but it's near, but it's like a neighboring, not adjacent, but nearby ahupuaʻa on the ko'olau side. And I would say what's interesting about that one is even till today, the residents of that side of the island still say Honolulu instead of, the way that other people who aren't maybe familiar with the place might say it.
So in the GNIS, it is Honolulu.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, but I see that we have multiple features with that name, so okay, we can address that.
Yeah. Every time I hear it on the news because of the Oahu street name, it reminds me I gotta discuss it. So thank you, Arthur, for clearing that up.
Okay. Lily, you have any thoughts? No? All right. I guess maybe we can, if there's anyone present from the public, if there are any thoughts on possibilities.
So again, right now it's just Shelley. Let me see if she wants to say anything.
I'm sorry, I have quite a few windows open, so it took me some time to find my unmute button. So I'm running the requested changes past the GNIS manager right now. She said they'd have to go through a BGN process because it's changing the official name. Should you want to go through dropping the English descriptive word from those names?
Yes.
Probably not what you wanted to hear.
That's all right.
So
Thank you.
I'll work with the board members on that. We can
Yeah.
get together.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. And yeah, so I think we'll just work with what we have so far, so potentially expanding a little bit more of the feature names needing addressing from Molokaʻi. So, and then when bringing on board some of the kupuna and people that have more ike for that aina to assist in some of the conversations there. And yeah, then we can move forward. So next on the agenda, identify other. Oh, is there anything else that we want to?
Yeah, just before we leave that topic, what I'll try to do is in the next month, let me make a note of that. So by the end of July, I'll try and send you all complete lists of each island and the names, and I'll include the status and hopefully be able to include the ahupuaʻa with it. But maybe that, I don't want to make it too daunting. But that might be something that you can take to the kupuna or, whoever it is that might be from that area or from that island. And again, I can sort it however you want, by ahupuaʻa or geographic area, to see if it's something that they can help us with.
Yeah.
But
When you
I kind of would want to know, do you want to see just the threes, the ones that the board has looked at and not been able to make a decision on? Or would you want them to see the full list, including the ones that the board has made a decision on, if they have some other interpretation of the name? Because that list could be, quite large.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to make it too daunting.
Yeah.
But
For me,
let
for me,
know.
I think
I'll
for
put
me,
those
I
lists
think
together.
yeah. For me, I think the three category 3 names would be a good place to start, at least. Especially since all the other names, went through a processes of approval and everything by board members present and in the past. So maybe we can start there and kind of expand as needed, if there's more conversations with the different kupuna and knowledge holders.
Yes.
Okay. I guess next, the last thing on the agenda is to identify other agenda items for our next meeting. Any thoughts? Yeah, okay. We can just stick with what we have kind of listed out so far, and yeah.
Maybe we should list, because there are other folks who aren't here. If we could list on the agenda to have a list of names of kupuna or experts that we would want to consult with.
Yeah. So include that as well in the agenda.
I support that. That's a good idea. That allows us to kind of discuss and go more in depth at our next meeting.
Yeah. Sounds like a good idea. So mahalo for that. And that brings us to the end of our agenda. Thank you all for your participation today.
Thanks everybody
Arthur?
for coming.
Arthur, do you have anything before we close? Nope.
Not on my end, no.
All right.
Can
All
can we just also add the next meeting time to our agenda at the end? Do we normally do that? Sorry, I gotta go back.
You mean the date?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not looking at it, so I'm not sure if we already do that, but I think that's helpful.
Yeah, on our website. On the HBGN website, I have placeholders for the next meetings.
Yes.
So the next meeting is August 14th. Sorry, let me share my screen again.
Yeah, August 14th. Okay.
So if you go to HBGN and click on meeting materials, we have them scheduled out to December.
Okay.
Mahalo. I just wasn't sure if because I don't have it open, but I didn't know if we had it in the minutes for this meeting, like future meeting will be on.
No, but I can just add that when I do the agenda. Let's see, should I put it in the agenda? Yeah, so when I say identify agenda items for next meeting, maybe I'll just say identify agenda items for meeting on August 14th, 2026 or something.
That's perfect.
Okay. Can do.
All right. Thank you all for your attendance.
Mahalo.
I'm adjourning the meeting. Thank you. Aloha.